Hello everyone, and welcome back for the next chapter of the Legend of Drizzt. And it is just going to be a one-chapter day today, because this is going to be a little bit longer of one, and I know now that we're probably going to be able to finish before Friday, so these are probably going to be pretty average length ones for the next couple of days. So, let's go ahead and hop into it here. So, on the heels of their successful surface raid, Drizzt and Dinan and the patrol group discovered that there was a group of deep gnomes that were making their way very close to Menzoberranzan, and therefore making the people in Menzoberranzan very nervous. So, they engaged the group. Drizzt fought with an earth elemental and was almost killed by Mesaj, who saw his opportunity to strike. And he was captured by the deep gnomes, who discussed for a while, and they were beginning to find some common ground before Dinan and the rest of the group attacked. So that leads us into the next chapter here, where they're returning from another successful raid. So, here we go. Part 5. Zaknafein. Zaknafein Do'Urden. Mentor, teacher, friend. I, in the blind agony of my own frustrations, more than once came to recognize Zaknafein as none of these. Did I ask of him more than he could give? Did I expect perfection of a tormented soul? Hold Zaknafein up to standards beyond his experiences, or standards impossible in the face of his experiences? I might have been him. I might have lived, trapped within the helpless rage, buried under the daily assault of the wickedness that is Menzoberranzan, and the pervading evil that is my own family, never in life to find escape. It seems a logical assumption that we learn from the mistakes of our elders. This, I believe, was my salvation. Without the example of Zaknafein, I too would have found no escape. Not in life. In this course I have chosen a better way than the life Zaknafein knew. I think, yes. Though I find despair often enough sometimes to long for that other way, it would have been easier. Truth, though, is nothing in the face of self-falsehood, and principles are of no value if the idealist cannot live up to his own standards. This, then, is a better way. I live with many laments, for my people, for myself, but mostly for that weapons master, lost to me now, who showed me how, and why, to use a blade. There is no pain greater than this, not the cut of a jagged-edged dagger, nor the fire of a dragon's breath. Nothing burns in your heart like the emptiness of losing something, someone, before you truly have learned of its value. Often now I lift my cup in a futile toast, an apology to ears that cannot hear. To Zak, the one who inspired my courage. Drizzt Do'Urden. Chapter 24. To Know Our Enemies. 8 drow dead, and 1 a cleric, Briza said to Matron Malice on the balcony of House Do'Urden. Briza had rushed back to the compound with the first reports of the encounter, leaving her sisters at the central plaza of Menzoberranzan with the gathered throng, awaiting further information. But nearly 2 score of the gnomes died, a clear victory. What of your brothers? Asked Malice. How did House Do'Urden fare in this encounter? As with the surface elves, Dinan's hand slew 5, replied Briza. They say that he led the main assault fearlessly, and he killed the most gnomes. Matron Malice beamed with the news, though she suspected that Briza, standing patiently behind a smug smile, was holding something dramatic back from her. What of Drizzt? The matron demanded, having no patience for her daughter's games. How many Svirfnebli fell at his feet? None, Briza replied, but still the smile remained. Still, the day belonged to Drizzt, she added quickly, seeing an angry scowl spreading across her volatile mother's face. Malice did not seem amused. Drizzt defeated an earth elemental, Briza cried. All alone, almost, with only minor help from a wizard. The high priestess of the patrol named the kill his. Matron Malice gasped and turned away. Drizzt had ever been an enigma to her, as fine with the blade as any, but lacking the proper attitude and the proper respect. Now this, An earth elemental? Malice herself had seen such a monster ravage an entire drow raiding party, killing a dozen seasoned warriors before wandering off on its way. Yet her son, her confusing son, had defeated one single-handedly. "Lolth will favor us this day," Briza commented, not quite understanding her mother's reaction. Briza's words struck an idea in Malice. "Gather your sisters," she commanded. "We shall meet in the chapel. If House Do'Urden so fully won the day out in the tunnels, perhaps the Spider Queen will grace us with some information." "Vienna and Maya await the forthcoming news in the city plaza," Briza explained, mistakenly believing her mother to be referring to information about the battle. "Surely we will know the entire story within the hour." "I care nothing for a battle against gnomes," Malice scolded. "You have told everything that is important to our family. The rest does not matter. We must parlay your brother's heroics into gain." "To learn of our enemies," Briza blurted as she realized what her mother had in mind. "Exactly," replied Malice. "To learn which house it is that threatens House Do'Urden. If the Spider Queen truly finds favor with us this day, she may grace us with the knowledge we need to defeat our enemies." A short while later, the 4 high priestesses of House Do'Urden gathered around the spider idol in the chapel anteroom. Before them, in a bowl of the deepest onyx, burned the sacred incense, sweet, deathlike, and favored by the Yachlol, the handmaidens of Lolth. The flame moved through a variety of colors, from orange to green to brilliant red. It then took shape, heard the beckons of the 4 priestesses, and the urgency in the voice of Matron Malice. The top of the fire, no longer dancing, smoothed and rounded, assumed the form of a hairless head, then stretched upward, growing. The flame disappeared, consumed by the Yachlol's image, a half-melted pile of wax with grotesquely elongated eyes and a drooping mouth. "Who has summoned me?" the small figure demanded telepathically. The Yachlol's thoughts, too powerful for its diminutive stature, boomed within the heads of the gathered drow. "I have, Handmaiden," Malice replied aloud, wanting her daughters to hear. The matron bowed her head. "I am Malice, loyal servant of the Spider Queen." In a puff of smoke, the Yachlol disappeared, leaving only glowing incense embers in the onyx bowl. A moment later, the handmaiden reappeared, full size, standing behind Matron Malice. Briza, Vienna, and Maya held their breath as the being laid 2 sickly tentacles on their mother's shoulders. Matron Malice accepted the tentacles without reply, confident in her cause for summoning the Yachlol. "Explain to me why you dare to disturb me," came the Yachlol's insidious thoughts. "To ask a simple question," Malice replied silently, for no words were necessary to communicate with a handmaiden. One whose answer you know." "Does this question interest you so greatly?" the Yachlol asked. "You risk such dire consequences." "It is imperative that I learn the answer," replied Matron Malice. Her 3 daughters watched curiously, hearing the Yachlol's thoughts but only guessing at their mother's unspoken replies. "If the answer is so important, and it is known to the handmaidens, and thus to the Spider Queen, do you not believe that Lolth would have given it to you if she so chose?" "Perhaps before this day the Spider Queen did not deem me worthy to know," Malice responded. "Things have changed." The handmaiden paused and rolled its elongated eyes back into its head, as if communicating with some distant plane. "Greetings, Matron Malice Do'Urden," the Yachlol said aloud after a few tense moments. The creature's spoken voice was calm and overly smooth for the thing's grotesque appearance. "My greetings to you and to your mistress, Queen of Spiders," replied Malice. She shot a wry smile at her daughters, and still didn't turn to face the creature behind her. Apparently, Malice's guess of Lolth's favor had been correct. "Daemon Ashesbaernon has pleased Lolth," the handmaiden said. "The males of your house have won the day, even above the females that journeyed with them.
I must accept Matron Malice Stewardin's summons.
The tentacles slid off Malice's shoulders, and the Yaklal stood rigid behind her, awaiting her commands.
Glad I am to please the Spider Queen,
Malice began. She sought the proper way to phrase her question.
For the summons, as I have said, I beg only the answer to a simple question.
Ask it, prompted the Yaklal, and the mocking tone told Malice and her daughters that the monster already knew the question.
My house is threatened, say the rumors, said Malice.
Rumors?
The Yaklal laughed, an evil, grating sound. I trust in my sources, Malice replied defensively. I would not have called upon you if I did not believe the threat.
Continue,
said the Yaklal, amused by the whole affair.
They are more than rumors, Matron Malice Stewardin. Another house plans war upon you.
Maya's immature gasp brought scornful eyes upon her from her mother and her sisters. Name this house to me, Malice pleaded. If Dam on Ash's Benon truly has pleased the Spider Queen this day, then I bid Loth to reveal our enemies that we might destroy them.
And if this other house also has pleased the Spider Queen, the handmaiden mused, would Loth then betray it to you?
Our enemies hold every advantage, Malice protested. They know of House Do'Urden. No doubt they watch us every day, laying their plans. We ask Loth only to give us knowledge equal to that of our enemies. Reveal them, and let us prove which house is more worthy of victory.
What if your enemies are greater than you?
Asked the handmaiden.
Would Matron Malice Stewardin then call upon Loth to intervene and save her pitiful house?
No, cried Malice. We would call upon those powers that Loth has given us to fight our foes. Even if our enemies are the more powerful, let Loth be assured that they will suffer great pain for their attack on House Do'Urden. Again the handmaiden sank back within itself, finding the link to its home plane, a place darker than Menzoberranzan. Malice clenched tightly to Briza's hand, to her right, and Vierna's to her left. They in turn passed along the confirmation of their bond to Maya at the foot of the circle.
The Spider Queen is pleased, Matron Malice Do'Urden, the handmaiden said at length. Trust that she will favor House Do'Urden more than your enemies when battle rings out. Perhaps.
Malice flinched at the ambiguity of that final word, grudgingly accepting that Loth never made any promises at any time. What of my question? Malice dared to protest. The reason for the summons? There came a bright flash that stole the four clerics' vision. When their eyesight returned to them, they saw the Yaklal, tiny again and glaring out at them from the flames of the onyx bowl.
The Spider Queen does not give an answer that is already known, the handmaiden proclaimed,
the sheer power of its otherworldly voice cutting into the drow ears. The fire erupted in another blinding flash, and the Yaklal disappeared, leaving the precious bowl sundered into a dozen pieces. Matron Malice grabbed a large piece of the shattered onyx and threw it against a wall. Already known! She cried in rage. Known to whom? Who in my family keeps this secret from me?
Perhaps the one who knows does not know that she knows,
Briza put in, trying to calm her mother.
Or perhaps the information is newly found, and she has not had the chance to come to you with it.
She, growled Matron Malice. What she do you speak of, Briza? We are all here. Are any of my daughters stupid enough to miss such an obvious threat to our family? No, Matron! Vierna and Maya cried together, terrified of Malice's growing wrath, rising beyond control. Never have I seen any sign, said Vierna.
Nor I, added Maya. By your side I have been these many 10 days, and I have seen no more than you.
Are you implying that I have missed something? Malice growled, her knuckles white at her sides.
No, Matron!
Briza shouted above the commotion, loud enough to settle her mother for the moment and turn Malice's attention fully upon her eldest daughter.
Not she, then, Briza reasoned. He. One of your sons may have the answer, or Zaknafein, or Risen, perhaps.
Yes, agreed Vierna. They are only males, too stupid to understand the importance of minor details. Drizzt and Dinan have been out of the house, added Briza. Out of the city. In their patrol group are children of every powerful house. Every house that would dare to threaten us. The fires in Malice's eyes glowed, but she relaxed at the reasoning. Bring them to me when they return to Menzoberranzan, she instructed Vierna and Maya. You, she said to Briza, bring Risen and Zaknafein. All the family must be present, so that we may learn what we may learn. The cousins and the soldiers, too, asked Briza. Perhaps one beyond the immediate family knows the answer. Should we bring them as well? Offered Vierna. Her voice edged with the rising excitement of the moment. A gathering of the whole clan, a general war party of House Do'Urden. No, Malice replied. Not the soldiers or the cousins. I do not believe they are involved in this. The Handmaiden would have told us the answer if one of my direct family did not know it. It is my embarrassment to ask a question whose answer should be known to me, whose answer someone within the circle of my family knows. She gritted her teeth as she spat out the rest of her thoughts. I do not enjoy being embarrassed. Drizzt and Dinan came into the house a short while later, exhausted and glad the adventure was over. They had barely passed the entrance and turned down the wide corridor that led to their rooms when they bumped into Zaknafein coming the other way. So, the hero has returned, Zack remarked, eyeing Drizzt directly. Drizzt did not miss the sarcasm in his voice. We've completed our job, successfully, Dinan shot back, more than a little perturbed being excluded from Zack's greeting. I know of the battle, Zack assured him. It has been endlessly recounted throughout the city. Now leave us, elder boy. I have business with your brother. I leave when I choose to leave, Dinan growled. Zack snapped a glare upon him. I wish to speak to Drizzt. Only to Drizzt. So leave. Dinan's hand went to his sword hilt. Not a smart move. Before he even moved the weapon hilt an inch from the scabbard, Zack had slapped him twice in the face with one hand. The other had somehow produced a dagger and put its tip at Dinan's throat. Drizzt watched in amazement, certain that Zack would kill Dinan if this continued. Leave, Zack said again. On your life. Dinan threw his hands up and slowly backed away. Matron Malice will hear of this, he warned. I will tell her myself, Zack laughed at him. Do you think she will trouble herself on your behalf, fool? As far as Matron Malice cares, the family males determine their own hierarchy. Go away, elder boy. Come back when you have found the courage to challenge me. Come with me, brother, Dinan said to Drizzt. We have business, Zack reminded Drizzt. Drizzt looked to both of them, once and back again, stunned by their open willingness to kill each other. I will stay, he decided. I do indeed have unfinished business with the weapons master. As you choose, hero, Dinan spat, and he turned on his heel and stormed away. You have made an enemy, Drizzt remarked to Zack. I have made many, Zack laughed, and I will make many more before my day ends. But no mind. Your actions have inspired jealousy in your brother, your older brother. You are the one who should be wary. He hates you openly, reasoned Drizzt, but would gain nothing from my death, Zack replied. I am no threat to Dinan, but you... He let the word hang in the air. Why would I threaten him? Drizzt protested. Dinan has nothing I desire. He has power, Zack explained. He is the elder boy now, but was not always. He killed Nalfine, the brother I never met. You know of this, said Zack. Perhaps Dinan suspects that another second boy will follow the same course he took to become the elder boy of House Do'Urden. Enough, Drizzt growled, tired of the whole stupid system of ascension. How well you know it, Zaknafein, he thought. How many did you murder to attain your position? An earth elemental, Zack said, blowing a low whistle with the words. It is a powerful foe that you defeated this day. He bowed low, showing Drizzt mockery beyond any doubt. What is next for the young hero? A demon, perhaps? A demigod? Surely there is nothing that can... Never have I heard such senseless words stream from your mouth,
Drizzt retorted. Now it was time for some sarcasm of his own. Is it that I have inspired jealousy in another besides my brother? Jealousy? Zack cried. Wipe your nose, sniveling little boy. 12 earth elementals have fallen to my blade. Demons, too. Do not overestimate your deeds or your abilities. You are one warrior among a race of warriors. To forget that surely will prove fatal. He ended the line with pointed emphasis, almost in a sneer, and Drizzt began to consider again just how real their appointed practice in the gym would become. I know my abilities, Drizzt replied, and my limitations. I have learned to survive. As have I, Zack shot back. For so many centuries. The gym awaits, Drizzt said calmly. Your mother awaits, Zack corrected. She bids us all to the chapel. Fear not, though. There will be time for our meeting. Drizzt walked past Zack without another word, suspecting that his and Zack's blades would finish the conversation for them. What had become of Zaknafein, Drizzt wondered. Was this the same teacher who had trained him those years before the academy? Drizzt could not sort through his feelings. Was he seeing Zack differently because of the things he had learned of Zack's... Was he seeing Zack differently because of the things he had learned of Zack's exploits? Or was there truly something different, something harder, about the weapons master's demeanor since Drizzt had returned from the academy? The sound of a whip brought Drizzt from his contemplations. I am your patron, he heard Risen say. That's of no consequence, retorted a female voice, the voice of Briza. Drizzt slipped to the corner of the next intersection and peeked around. Briza and Risen faced off, Risen unarmed, but Briza holding her snake-headed whip. Patron, Briza laughed. A meaningless title. You are a male lending your seed to the matron and of no more importance. 4 I have sired, Risen said indignantly. 3, Briza corrected, snapping the whip to accentuate the point. Vienna is Zaknafein's, not yours. Nalfine is dead, leaving only 2. One of those is female and above you. Only Dinan is truly under your rank. Drizzt sat back against the wall and looked behind him to the empty corridor he had just walked. He had always suspected that Risen was not his true father. The male had never paid him any mind, had never scolded him or praised him or offered to him any advice or training. To hear Briza say it, though, and Risen not deny it. Risen fumbled about for some retort to Briza's stinging words. Does Matron Malice know of your desires? He snarled. Does she know that her eldest daughter seeks her title? Every eldest daughter seeks the title of Matron Mother, Briza laughed at him. Matron Malice would be a fool to suspect otherwise. I assure you that she is not, nor am I. I will get the title from her when she is weak with age. She knows and accepts this as fact. You admit that you will kill her? If not I, then Vienna. If not Vienna, then Maya. It is our way, stupid male. It is the word of Lolth. Rage burned in Drizzt as he heard the evil proclamations, but he remained silent at the corner. Briza will not wait for age to steal her mother's power, Risen snarled. Not when a dagger will expedite the transfer. Briza hungers for the throne of the house. Risen's next words came out as an indecipherable scream as the 6-headed whip went to work again and again. Drizzt wanted to intervene, to rush out and cut them both down, but of course he could not. Briza acted now as she had been taught, followed the words of the Spider Queen in asserting her dominance over Risen. She wouldn't kill him, Drizzt knew. But what if Briza got carried away in the frenzy? What if she did kill Risen? In the empty void that was beginning to grow in his heart, Drizzt wondered if he even cared. You let him escape! Matron Sinefé roared at her son. You will learn not to disappoint me. No, my matron, Mesage protested. I hit him squarely with a lightning bolt. He never even suspected the blow to be aimed at him. I could not finish the deed. The monster had me caught in the gate to its own plane. Sinefé bit her lip, forced to accept her son's reasoning. She knew that she had given Mesage a difficult mission. Drizzt was a powerful foe, and to kill him without leaving an obvious trail would not be easy. I will get him, Mesage promised, determination showing on his face.
I have the weapon readied. Drizzt will be dead before the 10th cycle, as you commanded. Why should I give you another chance? Sinefei asked him. Why should I believe that you will fare better the next time you try? Because I want him dead, Mesaj cried. More than even you, my matron. I want to tear the life from Drizzt Do'Urden. When he is dead, I want to rip out his heart and display it as a trophy. Sinefei could not deny her son's obsession. Granted, she said. Get him, Mesaj Hanet. On your life, strike the first blow against House Do'Urden, and kill its second boy. Mesaj bowed, the grimace never leaving his face, and swept out of the room. You heard everything, Sinefei signaled when the door had closed behind her son. She knew that Mesaj might well have his ear to the door, and she did not want him to know of this conversation. I did, Alton replied in the silent code, stepping out from behind a curtain. Do you concur with my decision? Sinefei's hands asked. Alton was at a loss. He had no choice but to abide by his matron mother's decisions, but he did not think that Sinefei had been wise in sending Mesaj back out after Drizzt. His silence grew long. You do not approve, Matron Sinefei bluntly motioned. Please, matron mother, Alton replied quickly. I would not... You are forgiven, Sinefei assured him. I am not so certain that I should have allowed Mesaj a second opportunity. Too much could go wrong. Then why? Alton dared to ask. You did not grant me a second chance, though I desire Drizzt Do'Urden's death as fiercely as any. Sinefei cast him a scornful glare, sending him back on his courageous heels. You doubt my judgment. No! Alton cried aloud. He slipped a hand over his mouth and dropped to his knees in terror. Never, my matron, he signaled silently. I just do not understand the problem as clearly as you. Forgive me my ignorance. Sinefei's laughter sounded like the hiss of 100 angry snakes. We see together in this matter, she assured Alton. I would no more give Mesaj a second chance than I gave you. But, Alton started to protest. Mesaj will go back after Drizzt, but this time he will not be alone, Sinefei explained. You will follow him, Alton Devere. Keep him safe and finish the deed. On your life. Alton beamed at the news that he would finally find some taste of vengeance. Sinefei's final threat didn't even concern him. Could it ever be any other way? His hands asked casually. Think! Malice growled, her face close, her breath hot on Drizzt's face. You know something. Drizzt slumped back from the overpowering figure and glanced nervously around at his gathered family. Dinan, similarly grilled just a moment ago, kneeled with his chin in hand. He tried vainly to come up with an answer before Matron Malice upped the level of the interrogation techniques. Dinan did not miss Briza's motions toward her snake whip, and the unnerving sight did little to aid his memory. Malice slapped Drizzt hard across the face and stepped away. One of you has learned the identity of our enemies, she snapped at her sons. Out there, on patrol, one of you has seen some hint, some sign. Perhaps we saw it but did not know it for what it was, Dinan offered. Silence! Malice screamed, her face bright with rage. When you know the answer to my question, you may speak. Only then. She turned to Briza. Help Dinan find his memory! Dinan dropped his head to his arms, folded on the floor in front of him, and arched his back to accept the torture. To do otherwise would only enrage Malice more. Drizzt closed his eyes and recounted the events of his many patrols. He jerked involuntarily when he heard the snake whips crack and his brother's soft groan. Mesaj, Drizzt whispered, almost unconsciously. He looked up at his mother, who held her hand out to halt Briza's attacks, to Briza's dismay. Mesaj Hanet, Drizzt said more loudly. In the fight against the gnomes, he tried to kill me. All the family, particularly Malice and Dinan, leaned forward toward Drizzt, hanging on his every word. When I battled the elemental, Drizzt explained, spitting out the last word as a curse upon Zaknafein. He cast an angry glare at the weapons master and continued.
Mesage Hanet struck me down with a bolt of lightning.
He may have been shooting for the monster, Vierna insisted. Mesage insisted that it was he who killed the elemental, but the High Priestess of the patrol denied his claim.
Mesage waited, Drizzt replied. He did nothing until I began to gain the advantage over the monster. Then he loosed his magic, as much at me as at the elemental. I think he hoped to destroy us both.
House Hanet, Matron Malice whispered.
Fifth house, Breeza remarked. Under Matron Sinifei.
So that is our enemy, said Malice.
Perhaps not, said Dinan, wondering even as he spoke the words why he hadn't left well enough alone. To disprove the theory only invited more whipping. Matron Malice did not like his hesitation as he reconsidered the argument.
Explain, she commanded.
Mesage Hanet was angry at being excluded from the surface raid, said Dinan. We left him in the city only to witness our triumphant return. Dinan fixed his eyes straight on his brother. Mesage has ever been jealous of Drizzt and all the glories that my brother has found, rightly or wrongly. Many are jealous of Drizzt and would see him dead. Drizzt shifted uncomfortably in his seat, knowing the last words to be an open threat. He glanced over to Zaknafein and marked the weapons master's smug smile.
Are you certain of your words?
Malice said to Drizzt, shaking him from his private thoughts. There is the cat, Dinan interrupted. Mesage Hanet's magical pet, though it holds closer to Drizzt's side than to the wizard's.
Gwenweavar walks the point beside me, Drizzt protested. A position that you ordered.
Mesage does not like it, Dinan retorted. Perhaps that is why you put the cat there, Drizzt thought, but he kept the words to himself. Was he seeing conspiracies in coincidence? Or was his world so truly filled with devious schemes and silent struggles for power?
Are you certain of your words?
Malice asked Drizzt again, pulling him from his pondering.
Mesage Hanet tried to kill me, he asserted. I do not know his reasons, but his intent I do not doubt.
House Hanet, then, Breeza remarked. A mighty foe.
We must learn of them, Malice said. Dispatch the scouts. I will know the count of House Hanet's soldiers, its wizards, and particularly its clerics.
If we are wrong, Dinan said, if House Hanet is not the conspiring house.
We are not wrong! Malice screamed at him.
The Aklos said that one of us knows the identity of our enemy, reasoned Vierna. All we have is Drizzt's tale of Mesage.
Unless you are hiding something, Matron Malice growled at Dinan, a threat so cold and wicked that it stole the blood from the elder boy's face.
Dinan shook his head emphatically and slumped back, having nothing more to add to the conversation.
Prepare a communion, Malice said to Breeza. Let us learn of Matron Sinifei's standing with the Spider Queen.
Drizzt watched incredulously as the preparations began at a frantic pace, each command from Matron Malice following a practiced defensive course. It wasn't the precision of Drizzt's family's battle planning that amazed him. He would expect nothing less from this group. It was the eager gleam in every eye. And there we have it. That is tonight's chapter. And I will be back with another one tomorrow night. So, until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will be back tomorrow. Good night, everyone. See you then.